Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Prognard. I am your host, Jacob Williams. So, yesterday I finally got a chance to play the Milton Bradley classic Shogun, also known as Samurai Swords, also known as Ikusa. So, I played this game yesterday, and I really liked it, and I think one particular mechanic in this game that's a lot of fun and would be easy for an Armchair General segment was the mechanic in the game where, let's say, blue player has a daimyo that really wants to take out the daimyo of the red player, where this daimyo is super experienced, because the more experienced daimyo get, the more havoc they can wreak on the battlefield. Well, one thing a player can do to knock the experience down of another daimyo is to take an action called Hire the Ninja. Okay? And what's interesting about this mechanic is that, say, the blue player could hire the ninja, have him attempt to go assassinate the red daimyo, but if the ninja fails, the red player can attempt to counter assassinate the blue player. Okay? And this actually came up in the game I was playing yesterday. And so, looking at the math, I thought this would be a great one to do for Armchair General, and something that I could do real quick. Didn't take a lot of planning. And so that's what we're doing right now. So, how does this mechanic work? Okay, so let's assume that the blue player hires the ninja, and he sends him to go assassinate the red player. Well, what then is going to happen is the blue player is going to roll a d12, and he is looking for, or they are looking for, an 8 or lower. But let's say the ninja totally botches it and rolls a 12. Okay, now red player again gets a chance to go counter assassinate the blue player. Maybe he says, "Hey, how much is blue player paying you? I'll pay you double." Some of your classic 80s action tropes. All right. So on the counter assassination, though, the red player would have to roll on a d12 a 9 or higher. Okay, so mathematically, how are we going to figure out what's the probability that if the ninja fails, or actually, let me rephrase it. What's the probability of when I hire the ninja that he could be used to counter assassinate me, or the player who hires them? Okay, so that's what we're going to look at the math on. So give me a little trusty envelope here. And this is going to be a little wonky because of where the camera is positioned here. Let me try to work on this. If you could actually see the weird angle I'm at for the camera, this would be quite entertaining. All right, so let's do the probabilities here. So I've got to get, or not I, but the player who hires the ninja for assassination. For a successful assassination, the probability is 8 out of 12. Okay, so there are 8 outcomes on the d12 that I want, and there are 12 possible outcomes. So 8 out of 12, I think that's pretty easy. I think most people are going to understand that. But then what has to happen is, for the ninja to be used to assassinate the original player who hired him, not only does the assassination attempt has to fail. Okay, does that make sense? So what we actually want is we want the 4 outcomes where this fails. Okay, so 8 out of the 12 sides on the die we successfully assassinate, but 4 out of the 12 we miss. And this is the one that we care about. Okay, so I'm going to put 4 out of 12 here. Oh, broke my pencil lead. So I've got 4 out of 12. So the assassination attempt has to fail, and if we've learned anything from Armchair General, and means that we have to multiply. If two things have to happen, it's an and. If either or could happen, it's obviously an or. Okay, so we have to fail, and the assassin has to be, or the ninja has to be used successfully to assassinate the player that hired him. And so that means on a 9, 10, 11, 12. So that is also a 4 out of 12 probability. All right. So because these have to be multiplied together, this is going to be 16 over 144. All right. And then if we reduce that down, that'll be, what would that be? I believe that would be 1/9. Let me grab my calculator. So if we have, let me do this off camera, it'll be easier. 4 over 12, which I realize is 1/3. But I never want to look like an idiot doing math on here. So, yeah, 4 times, or 4/12 times 4/12 is indeed 1/9, which would make this roughly an 11% probability. So if you hire the ninja, it's only an 11.11% probability that the ninja will come back and bite you in the ass, so to speak. Which actually happened once in our game. So in the game that we played, I hired the ninja and successfully assassinated an opponent. An opponent hired the ninja 4 times, and he missed twice. And then on one of those misses, I was able to counter-assassinate. So, that's always anecdotal. And that's the thing with probabilities, is that you see a lot of different things. And, the one thing I'd like to say, and this might be the catchphrase during this entire series, is probabilities just give you guidance on what's likely to happen. It is, however, not a crystal ball. Okay, it doesn't see the future, and it doesn't predict exactly what's going to happen. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this breakdown on the probability of the ninja failing on you and end up killing one of your own daimyo. If you've never had a chance to play Shogun / Samurai Sword / Ikusa, check it out. It's a really good game. I highly recommend it. And that's all.